Good morning, Cleabranch kids. You may remember this month we've been talking all about cooperation, what it is and why it's important, and what we can do to be a part of that. So, for starters, what is cooperation? Well, it's a big word, but it just means working together to help someone else achieve something or a group achieve something. And so far this month, we've talked mostly about stories from the Old Testament about how God's people work together to make some things happen. But this month, or this week, excuse me, we're going to skip forward to the New Testament towards the beginning of Jesus' ministry to hear a story about that. Now, during this time, Jesus was, like I said, towards the beginning of his ministry, and he was traveling around and teaching, and word about Jesus was beginning to grow. People were beginning to talk about him and the things that he was saying and the miracles that he was performing. And it came that he was traveling through a town called Capernaum. And there was a man there who had never been able to walk. And he had already heard these stories of Jesus. And he and his friends, as they're talking about Jesus, they realized that Jesus could be the person that could save him, the one person that might heal him from this, how he had been born, that he was not able to walk. And so when they heard that Jesus was stopping at a house not too far from them to teach, they decided to do something about it. His friends put their heads together and they decided that they would put him on a mat and they would carry him over to that house. And so they did that, fully expecting that they would get to meet Jesus and that they had the faith that Jesus would be able to heal him. But when they got there, they found that the house was overflowing with people. There were so many people around that there was overflow out in the yard and they couldn't get anywhere close. But they had come all this way and they knew that Jesus was their only hope. And so they decided that they could work together and they would get their friend on his rug or his mat to the top of the house. Now, I can't imagine how they did this. They clearly had their hearts in it, because that had to have been hard work to get a full-grown man on a rug, lift it up to the top of a house. But they managed to do it. And they're up there. They find an opening through the roof tiles and they lower their friend down right at the feet of Jesus. Well, Jesus was in the middle of teaching, and I can imagine he sort of looked down at this package that's been dropped in front of him, this man on a rug, and he looks up and sees his friends there in the opening, and it occurs to him that he knows exactly what it is that they want. And so he asks the man, "What is it that you want from me?" And he's like, "Jesus, I need you to heal me." And he said, "You're forgiven of your sins." Well, that's not exactly what the man was asking for, but it's what Jesus knew that he needed, and also, of course, what we need as well. But then he went a step further and he said, "Now, pick up your mat and go." And the man was healed, and he did. He picked up his mat and he told everyone that he could about the wonderful thing that Jesus had done for him. So clearly, this is a story about a miracle that Jesus performed for this man. He changes his life forever in two ways. He made him be able to walk, and now he was also forgiven of his sins. But I want you to also think about the friends in the story. It took the four of them working together to be able to carry. This was a heavy thing that they carried. We don't know exactly how far it was, but he's carrying a full-grown man on a rug that can't help them. So they worked together to carry him over there. They worked together to climb to the top of the house and then to lower him down, because they loved their friend that much and they had that much faith that Jesus was who he said he was and that he could heal their friend. And so they worked together to make that happen. Now, guys, the wonderful news is that we can cooperate like that too. And in fact, that's our bottom line for this week, is that we can work together to help someone in need.